So in summary, the correct way to do the power steering pump removal is undo that little clip there, one faster there, that pipe, wiper blade, cover, fastener, pipe, then your windscreen washer hose, just unclip that, pop it off there, blip, unclip this pipe, that, and then this here actually pulls directly out this way. So unclip that, get that out of the way. Then your next step will be disconnecting this hose, put it back under there where it's supposed to be clipped in there, Todd, Jesus Christ. Undo that hose there, because remember all this will be off. Tuck them up over here somewhere so they don't spill any coolant. Then you can remove this ducting here. So it's those two nuts that we spoke about previously and the two bolts. That comes out. Pull this dipstick out because you don't want to accidentally lean on that and snap it. Drain the reservoir as much as you can, and then disconnect that spring clamp, and then this nut there. You could tuck the high pressure pipe, that's a steel one there. You could tuck that up behind the top radiator hose here so it stays out of the way. You could disconnect that first bottom hose on the reservoir, one closest to us here. Disconnect that one, and then the reservoir can come out along with that hose. Take your drive belt off. You don't want to get any oil or coolant on the drive belt, so make sure you draw a picture of your drive belt first. I always do. Example A. Draw a picture of how it goes, because if you forget, because you will, and you route it incorrectly, then there's big issues. And mark the direction of the belt. Next step after that, so once you got all that out, take this little cover here off. Probably should disconnect the battery. I didn't, but I would recommend disconnecting the battery. And then down here there's 3 fuel lines to undo. That one, and the one that goes right down there on top of the pump. Disconnect those. Once you got, and you can actually tuck these two here, you can tuck them right back under there so they stay out of the way. Unclip this bracket here that holds the intercooler hose on. You can disconnect that and then pop it out of its little bracket on a dipstick tube and yoink that away. Unclip this loom here. It clips onto like a thing there. You just shoink, that there pops off. And then it's actually not too bad once you get all that out. It's like fiddly, but it's doable. I would start by loosening off all the back ones first. So to do that, these are the tools you need. You need a 10mm gooseneck that's got length on it, so you can break it off with that. And this one here is critical. A 10mm ratchet spanner with about that much angle on it. It's perfect. So you can loosen them, and then you can undo it. It's easy. And then when you go to put the back bolts back in, you need to put it in your ratchet spanner first, and then hold the end of the bolt in, and then do your very dexterous mechanic thing that we all have to do, and then undo your front ones, and then that comes out. Then do what you need to do with the pump, or if you're replacing it, then straight back in. I bench bled it a little bit just to try to get some oil up around it, then reverse all the assembly that you've already done. Make sure your levels are good. Always check your sump oil before you start a car, and if it's unknown to you, make sure you always check that. The amount of them that come in here and they're bloody empty or close to it, it's wild, man. Then the bleeding procedure. So you want to top up your reservoir once it's all reconnected with Dextron 3. Then jack up the front wheels without starting the car. Go lock to lock until there's no more bubbles. Then briefly start it, turn it off, check for bubbles, or let all the bubbles simmer to the top. Start it again, turn it off, start it, turn it off. Keep doing that until it stops drinking. Then, with the wheels off the ground, you can start it, idle it, and then very slowly turn the steering wheel, just a little bit at a time, back and forward, until there's no bubbles. And then just keep going further and further and further and further. The key is to not just go and start the car. You've got to bleed it first, then start it, and do that, and then start moving the steering wheel with it running. Very important, because once you get air in there, the problem is the oil will get aerated, and once it's aerated, it's like emulsified, and it's really hard to get the bubbles out. Big bubbles are easy to get out, and little bubbles not so much. So we'll see if I've actually assembled it correctly and it works.